Hello everyone, my name is Dora. Today I'm going to show you how to paint the Hellebore flower. I'm going to show you how to paint different stages of the flower, different angles, and different types of the flower. This flower is gorgeous and is known for its really dark colors. The first flower is the prettiest in my opinion because it has several layers of petals. For all of these flowers, start with the center. Now paint the first set of petals around it. Remember, these flowers will be painted loosely, so nothing has to be perfect. Just paint the flower how you see it. I find it easiest to paint the north, south, east, and west petals first, then fill in the gaps with smaller petals. Try varying size and color of the petals. Next, paint a set of petals in the gaps. Make these petals just a tad bit bigger and lighter. I find it easiest to draw a line directly in the middle of the petals, then fill in the petal that way. This takes all the guesswork out of where to paint it. Last, paint very large petals in the gaps of the previous petals. The outer petals are much larger and a bit lighter in color. I'll show you how to paint the centers at the end once the flowers are dry. I realize this flower greatly resembles a cactus succulent, so you could round out the outer petals a bit. The next flower is probably the most recognizable. It's a simple flower with 5 petals. I recommend painting a very light, rough draft first. Notice how the petals curve outwards right away. Once you're satisfied, go back in and paint the flower with color. This method allows you to focus on having fun with the colors and try painting techniques instead of constantly worrying about petal placement. Remember to leave white space in between each petal. This flower also looks really great in other colors, especially chartreuse green. This one is very round with very round petals. Again, a light outline is recommended. Start with the front 3 petals. Then paint the back 2 petals. I made this side a bit too big. It looks better like this. This one's at an angle and it has different colors, and color play is always fun. Paint the front petal first for perspective. Then you can place back petals and then the side petals. After you're satisfied, start dropping in color. Remember to keep white space between each petal. Keep the petals wet so that they can take on more color. You can paint one side green and the other purple. Just put a light color in the middle to blend them both together. If color is stuck in place, wet it and move it around with the paintbrush to avoid harsh color splotches. The goal here is to make sure that the colors blend together. Emboss veins with a stylus while the petals are still wet. This resembles the real flower and it also gives direction to the petals. This one is at a top side angle. Start with the back petals for a perspective, just don't go all the way down to the base, then paint the front petals. Emboss veins with a stylus while the petals are still wet. For this one, you definitely want to paint the front petals first, then you can fill in the back. I'm only going to paint 2 petals for this one. Again, this is a very loose style of painting, so paint the flower how you interpret it. This flower isn't fully open. Paint the side petals first, then fill in the middle. Make all the petals curve to meet one single point, which will be the stem. I ended up making this one petal. This bud is still closed. Paint a single petal in the middle, then 2 C curves on both sides. These are new buds. For some reason, I really had trouble with this one. Paint a center petal with one C curve around it. Connect both buds with a center stem. Paint the center green if it's not already. You'll need an opaque white paint. Paint skinny stems coming from the center. Then paint tiny balls at the end of the stems. Vary the height of the stamens. Thanks for joining me today. Refer to the description where you'll find helpful tips and the supply list at the bottom.